Hey, welcome to News You Can Use. I'm your host, BG, and today we have a lot to get to, so let's not waste any time. All right, a state of emergency has been called in Nunavut's capital city due to contaminated drinking water. Also, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau finally visits a BC First Nation after his vacation scandal. Remember that one? And lastly, a Toronto Jamaican restaurant is planning on giving away thousands of meals. We'll have those details, but before we get to that, we need you to do one thing. Well, a couple of other things too, including subscribing to this channel, tapping that notification bell, and following us across all of our social media. Those details in the description below. All right, so the city of Iqaluit has declared a state of emergency because they don't have any clean water. Residents right now are unable to drink the water from their taps. Now, the water supply in the capital city is contaminated, possibly with petroleum. Now, last week, city staff reported smelling a strong smell of gas coming from a tank that held chemicals used to test, or treat rather, drinking water. Devin, this story, of course, isn't getting the attention it deserves, so let's give it the attention. What are the details you have?
So it actually started at the beginning of the month. Some people were online, they were complaining about the ongoing situation, saying that they didn't feel well after drinking the water, it smelled funny, and this went on for a couple of weeks. Last week, the government declared a state of emergency. They had done some testing and they found what they were calling exceedingly high concentrations of fuel within the water. Now, they told people there wasn't any long-term health effects expected from people who had already been using the water, but from that point they were recommending people don't use it anymore. You're not supposed to bathe in it if you're pregnant, or bathe small children in it, and it's really just like a mess up there right now going on with, they don't have access to clean drinking water in their houses, so it's supposed to last until like close to the end of the month.
It's like really not okay.
No.
Like, I mean, that's for a lack of better word. I do want to tell you this. We did reach out to the deputy mayor of Iqaluit to get more details, so I want to bring him into this conversation right now. Deputy Mayor Awa, thank you so much for joining us here on News You Can Use.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, what is currently happening with the water supply in Iqaluit?
We have the problem here in Iqaluit. It's been contaminated with petroleum, and they're looking for where that might be at this time.
So do we know how did this contamination happen?
I'm not really sure. We don't really know. There's a possibility that it might be coming from the power plant, or it might be coming from the way back when the military were here in the 1950s.
Deputy Mayor Awa, can you tell us how many people is this affecting and how severe is this contamination?
Yeah, we have close to 8,000 people here in the Iqaluit, and most of them are affected by.
So how are people getting clean drinking water right now in your city?
Thankfully, we have a river nearby. It's about 3 miles away, which is that they're consuming that water from. The city also provide the filling up jug location, which that water truck fill from the lake and drop it off to for those who don't really have a vehicle to drive up to the river.
Has the federal government been in touch with you or anybody at the municipal level?
We're still at the state talking about getting some help from them.
So have they offered you guys help or have they not?
I haven't really heard that one yet.
How long do you think it's going to take to fix this?
Well, probably, I don't know. I don't really know exactly the time frame for this one.
Any guesses though? Are we talking potentially weeks, months?
I have no clue. I have no idea. Yeah.
By any chance, and I would love to get your, honest answer here, do you trust Justin Trudeau's government to help fix this water supply issue?
I hope so. I hope we're going to get some help from the federal government to this water system problem we have here in Iqaluit.
How much money do you need?
It's really difficult to say. Probably more than 100,000, or not 100,000, but probably more than $1 million.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deputy Mayor Awa, for joining us here on UZK News. We appreciate your time.
And thank you. You're welcome.
Listen, this is a really sad situation, and Devin, I know that you were actually able to get a resident on the ground there and speak to them. What was that like?
So, I mean, she really touched on the fact that it's important to remember we're not dealing with a rural area. It is the capital city of Nunavut. So, Andrea Anderson, she's lived in Tk'emlúps since 2017, and she says they're often having water issues out there. This isn't the first situation where they've had a public notice. It's the first time they haven't had access, she told me, but it was just a couple of months ago. She said that they were under a water boil advisory, and now she's started a GoFundMe page to raise money to get not just water up there, but also containers so people can collect water from the river or water stations set up throughout the city.
So let's hear what she had to say.
And so our current day has changed significantly. My day now revolves around water. I wake up, I boil water. I have to bring water to work. I have to go and collect either at the river or at the depot stations that the city has set up. And then the government has purchased water bottles to be flown in. So then they also have water bottle stations that residents can avail of. However, you're only allowed to have a case once per day per household.
And then how can people get involved and help out if they are, looking to help out in this situation?
So if you are a local resident of Tk'emlúps, volunteer for pickup, deliveries, drop-offs, to help their elders, single parents, anyone who might need it. But for residents who are not here in Tk'emlúps, or Canadians who are not here in Tk'emlúps, you can make a contribution to the GoFundMe page and just spread the word. You could even write to your MPs or to the Prime Minister stating this national capital of Canada needs our water infrastructure fixed. This, unfortunately, is where we're at right now, that we actually have hydrocarbons relating to diesel in our drinking water, which, I mean, in 2021 is very unacceptable.
Now, at this point, the state of emergency is set to last through the 27th, but could be extended. Here's what we want to know, though. How are you guys feeling hearing about this story? We know Canada's passed with clean drinking water in primarily Indigenous communities. So should the federal government be doing more? Drop your thoughts right now in the comments and sound off there. All right, speaking of the federal government, well, over on the West Coast, the Prime Minister finally visited a BC First Nation in Kamloops this week. This comes after his vacation scandal. We talked a lot about this when this all happened on the day for Truth and Reconciliation, the first time it was marked in this country. He was initially invited to take part in the ceremony for that holiday, but didn't show up. In fact, Trudeau was criticized by a lot of Canadians for spending the day in Tofino, just a few hours away from Kamloops, vacationing with his family on September 30th, right after the election. So, Devin, of course, everybody wants to know, what did he do when he went there?
He met with residential school survivors, their families, and their communities, but he also gave a speech. And he apologized for the situation. He apologized for not showing up. He admitted that what he had done was wrong, but it was clearly very, very uncomfortable. If you watch the footage after he makes his speech, the chief of the First Nation, Rosanna Casimir, she not only said that he'd been invited to the event, he'd also been told that if he couldn't make it, he could make a video appearance, and didn't appear to that either. So she was very upset and had a lot to say.
Kelly looks upset too.
It's unfortunate because you see all of the trauma that's being rehashed in the past, year or longer, and you and your government recognized this day, brought this into fruition, made this official, and then you said, actually, I'm busy. Oh, sorry.
And not just that, not even that one situation is more important than another, but over 6,000 children's remains have been found. It started in Kamloops. That's where they found the first 215.
Yeah.
So
There's so many layers to this.
You know, like.
Right? There's so many layers to this. You know, the First Nation has been asking the Canadian government for funding for a support center, actually, for survivors, and all government documents about the children who were sent to residential schools. It's even hard to ask for people's reaction on this because it's a difficult story to even react to, but if you do have some thoughts on this, let us know in the comment section in terms of how you're feeling. All right, shall we bring the energy up? Yeah, shall we bring the energy up? Because we do have some good news. So a Jamaican restaurant, a Toronto Jamaican restaurant, is doing something massive this weekend to support the community. In fact, Courtney Grant, the owner of Caribbean Queen Restaurant, on Saturday, that restaurant is going to be giving a massive giveaway. In fact, they're dishing out approximately 2,000 free meals to people in the city. We actually caught up with the owner, and here's what they had to say.
My name is Courtney Grant. I'm the owner, president, CEO of Caribbean Queen Restaurants. This weekend will be our annual Thanksgiving Customer Appreciation Giveaway. We're going to be giving away 2,000 meals this weekend. It is always my pleasure to give back to the people that support us. And over the years, I have the citizens of Toronto has been supporting Caribbean Queen, and you kept us in business. So therefore, we would like to give back to you. Come on out, feel free. It's going to be on Sunday between 11 and 2. Come down to 14 Broadstock. You must put your order in by Thursday in order for us to get our numbers. We need to feed 2,000 people. Thank you.
And Devin, you did that interview.
I did,
That was pretty cool.
It was nice going in there. It was early. It was like 8 o'clock this morning, but Courtney was in the kitchen. He told me he'd been there since 2 o'clock this morning, working away.
Goodness.
And I had just barely opened my eyes. But yeah, I went down and I spoke to him.
Yeah.
It smelled great. The energy was great. Like you would never have known it was first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
It was just a real vibe there.
Any other details that he shared that our viewers should know about?
Yeah, if you're interested, you have to reach out to them by Thursday. They're trying to get numbers. Obviously, it takes a lot of prep and stuff to get that much food ready. But he has 5 locations. This is the one on Bradston in the West End. But we will have all that information up on Instagram. Contact info and everything for people to reach out.
I love to hear it. All right, let's give that a round of applause. All right. And on that note, because it is a positive note, we are going to wrap this up. So reminder, listen, if you do have any news stories you want us to look into, don't be afraid to reach out to us. Email us, news@brandygonashow.com. And also a reminder, if you haven't watched the latest episode of The BG Show, go watch that right now. We'll see you soon. Hey BG Squad, thanks so much for checking out our channel, and listen to this, we have more great content for you like this video right here and this video right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right now and tap that notification bell.